one portal entry that I think Miami could definitely be involved in big time. Sahir West, the defensive end out of James Madison. Look at these numbers, man. 45 tackles, 7 sacks, 4 passes deflected, 1 forced fumble on the year from Baltimore. So he's a city kid, freshman All-America, Sun Belt freshman of the year, completely dominated in that Sun Belt championship game. Just really explosive, long arms. I think Miami needs a best in class kind of defensive end transfer portal addition. I don't think you need a lot of volume. You have Hayden Lowe, 5-star coming back. I think he's going to be great. Marquise Lightfoot, you see what he's bringing as that outside linebacker, pure pass rusher, not a defensive end per se, more of like just that stand up, get after it guy who can drop into coverage. You see him spy, does a lot of different things. But Lightfoot's going to play a lot. I mentioned Hayden Lowe, Herbert Scroggins. You saw him play. He was on that last drive against Texas A&M, the freshman from Savannah, Georgia. So he's really coming into his own. He's in that 255, 260 range. Powerful defensive end, plays hard, really easy to coach. So you have guys at this position. You brought in some really talented pass rushers in Ashari Charles and DeAnthony Lafayette. So there's more that I haven't even mentioned yet. But I think with this, with Armando Blunt moving to defensive tackle, most likely, he's been playing mostly there for the second half of the season. You lose Ruben Bain, you lose Akeem Messidor, crucial guys on your team. Yes, a Hayden Lowe will elevate, a Herbert Scroggins, Lightfoot, all these guys. But I think you need another just impactful, dominant, know what you're going to get type of player. They should be easy to get in the portal. They're not cheap to get, but they should be easier to get in the portal considering you can sell the success of Bain and Messidor, Jason Taylor, all the things that are facts. You could just sell facts to a portal defensive end, say this is what you want. We can deliver this to you as far as role, as far as projected performance, etc. So if I'm Sahir West from Baltimore City, I mean, I lived in Baltimore. It's a big city, obviously. Miami's a lot nicer than Baltimore, but it's going to be a lot more familiar than maybe some of these college towns coming down to Miami. So I see this, if you're talking about big ticket items, and there's only so many big ticket items because this guy's going to have interest from everybody in the country, a young pass rushing defensive end with multiple years of eligibility and length. This guy is going to be highly, highly touted, highly regarded. All the big schools are going to be after him. You have to allocate budget. We know quarterback's going to be one of those big ticket items in the portal. I think this would be another potential big ticket item in the portal. I would focus my energy, if I'm Miami, on those two positions. Assuming Markel Bell's that you're able to retain him, which would not be cheap, which I think he will come back. Obviously, he'll come back to Miami unless he goes pro. We'll see how his stock rises or doesn't throughout the rest of these playoffs. I think right now I'd say he's more likely to come back, but you just got to see how the whole thing plays out. He'll obviously take a huge bit of that budget. If he doesn't, you have to use budget to replace him. But if he comes back, Moten comes back at defensive tackle. Again, I would expect that, but the playoffs aren't over. Those are two guys that you're paying them a lot because they're hard to replace in the portal. The rest of the budget, I think, we talk about retention portal guys, like these big ticket items. Quarterback, defensive end. That's where I'm focused on if I'm a Miami Hurricane fan. And this right here is the best defensive end available right now in the market. So let's see. Just again, it's early. He just jumped in, but this is not like an unexpected portal entry. I think a lot of people around the country expected Sahir West to jump in the portal. Of course, his coach went to UCLA. So a lot of people are projecting maybe West to go out west to UCLA, but he's a East Coast guy. So it's not like it's necessarily a natural geographic fit. Of course, he could follow his old coach, but he's a guy that's going to have opportunities to go anywhere. So I wouldn't say that's a given with Sahir West. And I think you're going to see all the top programs, SEC, Big Ten, and Miami, circle around a Sahir West and trying to bring him in because he's such a hot commodity. Dylan Stewart, you saw returning to South Carolina. So that was a potential domino in the defensive end class. This is the one. I would circle this one. Again, I don't know where we were at. It's still very early in this process. The portal hasn't even officially opened yet, but this just seems like a fit for what Miami is trying to get done at defensive end. And just like they're able to pitch to DJ Jacobs, the number one defensive end in the country at high school, looking like he may be a Miami Hurricane. Sahir West, the number one defensive end in the portal. Let's see if Miami can use the same pitch on him because I think he would be a difference-making player potentially for the Canes. And if you look at the defensive line, if you get a Sahir West, now you have Sahir West and Hayden Lowe. Marquise Lightfoot doing what he does, pass rushing and other things. Great motor, great athletic ability. Had a really good game against Texas A&M. Herbert Scroggins being that reliable, hardworking, ascendant player, similar to Messidor in a lot of ways to me. Then defensive tackle, Justice Scott, potential first rounder. Ahmad Moten skyrocketing up the charts. Armando Blunt terrorizing as a pass rusher these last couple weeks. You saw him on the the interception in the end zone to end the game. He also had a roughing the passer, which really wasn't a roughing the passer. It was a great pass rush. Dante Simpson, who's done a nice job, plus Keyshawn Stansel, some of the other incoming guys. That room at defensive line is looking like it will maintain the elite level that it has right now. I think Sahir West, not him in particular, because there may be other guys that enter, but right now he's the one that to me allows you to keep that high level after losing the best defensive ends in the country with BAIN and Messidor going on to the pros. So keep an eye on that potential portal addition.